What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Team Solemn Circus live video. Today we're going to go over a Melodious update. This is like the final form of Melodious that I'm going to be playing for a little bit now. So this is probably going to be the list I take to the regionals. That's coming up on the 15th. Coming up, I guess, in 11 days here. Before we dive into over Combo Scrap, I'll kind of be explaining some of these cards. I can do a combo video as one and two. The first one did a little good, so kind of can boost it up. But before we dive into the Combo Scrap, and well, we're on the road to 10K, so let's dive in. So we're going to start off with 3 Refrain. This is going to be one of your 1 to 9 card starters. Amazing card, lets you search. You have the triple couplet, very mandatory. I feel like you have to play 3 of this. We're then on the double soprano and the 1, 1, and 1. So I guess I'll throw out the last ones too, and the triple copies of Sonata. So the reason why we're playing triple Sonata here is like a lot of our lists aren't playing it. We're also not playing the LG anymore, this one here. The reason why we're not playing that is because a lot of the times, if you want to go for the link, this summoning this and this doesn't really do very much. You want to summon it like this and then like level 3, which is kind of what we kind of want to aim for. This being able to help you OTK as well as always being another extender in the hand. Like I found a lot of the times when you have bricking, by seeing some of those cards that are kind of useless, like the LG here, kind of unfortunate that you end up like seeing that as a concerto, which doesn't really help you out a lot. But having this in the hand, you know, even if you like see 2 of them, for example, you can always normal summon, push someone out, and then you can go into the link too. It does kind of lose the one hand trap, but a lot of times the deck is resilient enough to not, and you'll have like your other 1 card starters like being Reframe. But like if this gets impermed and you have any other card, it doesn't really help you out. So I wanted to like see these as much as possible. We are still playing the cannon because we have the combo that ends on Baguska as well as your copy of the Bacha. So really kind of nice to end on that. And then with the Etoile, helps you out a lot. So that's why we're playing it. As well as like when you get shifted, you need to have a plan. So being able to summon that out helps out a lot. For our hand traps, we're still on the Triple Herald, the best, you know, playing Gamma in your deck. And that's something else that I wanted to mention. I really wanted to keep the hand like the fairy count as high as possible. And seeing this in the hand, you know, you never have to, like, if you have 2 of them, you never really have to feel bad about discarding the second Herald, or the second one off Herald. So kind of important. But I really like the Triple Herald, Triple Ash, Triple Veiler, Triple Imperm, and then we're actually on double Ghost Ogre. So this is going to be a little bit of ratio. Like I found that I didn't want to be seeing the 3rd one, and I didn't want to play Cobble the Grave, so I ended up playing a double Talents instead, which I'll talk about later. But yeah, lots of different variations you can play. A Tempai, you have a very good matchup against Tempai anyways, by being able to like Herald, and then of course having like the bounce, and then Aria also being able to stop it, and then the fusion material that you have, the Bloom Diva that can actually just stop them, helps a lot. But we also talking about like high deck option I'm playing that actually helps out the deck a lot as well. It's a Tempai matchup. But then for your spells, we're playing the Triple Ostinato. Obviously, this card probably going to get hit, unfortunately, but absolutely crazy. The triple first movement solos, and then the 1 concerto. So I found myself, like I said earlier, bricking a lot on, like, I was trying to play double concerto with Desires for the longest bit. I think that was a topping list a couple weeks ago. But I found myself bricking a lot on it, so I kind of wanted to bump back down to this ratio. It's like 1 concerto is fine. The draw helps out a lot, which is kind of like something we'll talk about here with Prosperity. So the last 5 cards are the Triple Prosperity and the double copies of Talents. So I was going back and forth by playing like 2 of these, and then 2 Desires and 1 Talents, or then 1 copy of Droplets. But I ultimately chose to play the 3 Prosperity and the double Talents. This was that simply because I wanted to see the consistency as much as possible. So the problem that I found with this deck is that a lot of the times you'll have your hand traps, but you won't have that specific piece. And Desires doesn't like let you see exactly those cards that you want. Like, obviously, you can see the cards that you want, but being able to like dig 6 into your deck and then being able to choose one of them there, being like an Ostinato or a first movement solo, just helps out significantly. Being a second piece, or if you've already activated, like let's say you normal summon the Refrain, or you had the first movement solo, you summon out the Refrain that gets Imperm, something like that. You go Prosperity, dig, and you see a copy of Sonata. You can actually summon that out and then continue your plays as well, which is very important. So like it's kind of like a mid piece, as well as post side. This card comes even crazier because you're able to search for the exact cards that you need once you start deck thinning as well, which just Desires does not do, unfortunately. And the double Talents is like just really good for like being able to hand trap. Like we see we're in a heavy hand trap format, so being able to like double Talents is just really nice. Now move on to the extra deck. Nothing really as much has changed here. I think this is very much solved. We're on the 2 Etoile, the triple Botcha. I feel like people cutting this down is absolutely crazy. We're also playing the third one for a certain reason. You know, a lot of the combos you end up going through 2 as well. And then we're on the double book of, or not book of Eclipse, but the double DD Crow. This is actually crazy, being able to triple DD Crow your opponent. DD Crow is extremely good this format. People are underhyping it as a hand trap as well, which I think people are just definitely mistaken about. And then, of course, the last card is the Bloom Diva. This card is insanely crazy against the Tenpai deck as well. Being able to make this, and even versus the U-Bell deck, which is getting more popularity as well, helps out to beat the deck significantly, so kind of nice. And then for the links, we're playing the SP Little Knight, the Gravity Controller, the Haggard Lizard, and then the copy of Bloom. So we're playing only 4 here. One of them is being the In-Engine. I don't think you need the second one. I do wish we had room for the second one. That's kind of like my last card. But we're playing 2 cards into the extra deck that are kind of like side deck reliant, which also kind of ties into the Prosperities as well, being 2 vanishes for free. The Hazard Lizos, just because you can actually like get a monster off the field if you're playing something with maybe like an Ibly, or if you can get hit with a copy of, like, let's say you somehow, we're not playing Nib, but if you want to play Nib, you can play it. Or you like end up passing turn and you have something else in your field, an SP Little Knight, you want to go into this and then banish so you activate an Osanano, stuff like that. Come ups a lot, and then also being able to get that draw is nice. We all know this is for the 1-card combo with Botcha. It gets hand trapped, and then this is this. Not much to say. Kind of solved, like I mentioned earlier. Then we're playing the Baguska. We're not playing Typhon because the 2 cards in our side are in our extra deck here, which I'll be showing you guys. This card really ends crazy. Sometimes you can end on like this. And like at this point, if you're able to end on this end board here, and you can sometimes even end on, if you want to, like this, if you have like the absolute gas, but like they can't beat this. You know, being able to like bounce or triple DD Crow and then bounce, because this actually makes it so your effects can't be negated, so they kind of don't even stop the Baguska, which is absolutely really nice. But yeah, it lets them do a cool interaction with the Botcha and the Baguska there. So just kind of like flipping a skill drain on your opponent was quite nice. And then for the last 2 cards, we're actually playing the Garua and the Mud Dragon. So you guys can imagine in the side deck what we're playing. But these 2 are really free banishes, game 1 off Prosperity. But something else I want to mention is in the mirror match, Super Poly is an insane card. Shout out to Josh. We were playing and he ended up Super Polying me. I did not even think about it. It's going into a copy of Botcha. And that was just absolutely devastating. The moment you Super Poly into this, getting rid of essentially your copy of these 2 on the field to go for a Botcha, and then all of a sudden you actually have a Botcha that triggers summon up from the deck. Like, just getting essentially anything that you really want to, it's just insane. And like a lot of times you can go for your own Etoile as well if you already have Engine. So if you already have your way into the copy of Botcha, going for the Etoile, and then like even being able to bounce the cards or whatever they have left face up on the field, and then being able to go for that Osanado you have in hand, just can come up a lot. Like, it's just a really insane card. But like in the match against Tenpai and stuff like that, these 2 cards are never really dead. Even against Branded and stuff like that, U-Bell, whatever you want to play. Against like Snake Eye, you can always like Super Poly something away and then go for the Garua. And then you get like another draw as well if you like want to be able to like normal summon, link away, whatever you want to. Being able to make these is quite nice. But moving on to the side deck here, we're playing triple DD Crow. Once again, I said earlier, DD Crow is definitely an underrated card this format. Being able to hit almost everything in the deck against your opponents is just feels really crazy. A lot of times you end on like this, and you don't want to necessarily like triple banish in the graveyard right away. So you just throw a DD Crow like in those graveyard reliant matchups, especially like against a Branded Red and something like that, can be quite good. But other than that, it's just a really good hand trap. And then we're on the triple copies of Super Poly. Once again, like I mentioned, this comes up a lot in like mirror matches against Tenpai, against Branded. I wanted to fit in Drago Sapelia, but unfortunately the cards that we are playing kind of means that you can't really play Drago Sapelia, because like you don't really want to go Super Poly for a Drago Sapelia, then have a first movement solo or a copy of Osanado you can't really activate. But what's really good against this, like, it's a quick play, so you can always like normal summon a Reframe or activate Osanado and then chain a Super Poly, which is really cool. Talking about chainable cards, we are playing also the Forbidden Droplets as well. Paired up with the next card here being the triple evenly matched. Comes up a lot. And you're going to notice that we are playing a lot of like board breaker-ish cards. That's because our hand trap count is very, very high. So when we're playing against a deck that we want to be able to side in those hand traps or side out those hand traps, or play like as a Runic Sun, for example, these cards can come up a lot. Like, there was one matchup where I ended up getting hit with, I forget, it was like Mono Watto, and then I was like, okay, well, I'm going to side in Droplets, and then they actually, like, played super weirdly. It was like Runic Stun, and I had to, like, evenly match them, which came up a lot. Being able to, like, they just end up keeping one card on the field. And I think that at that point kept Inspector Border, and so that's like, okay, keep Inspector Border, and then I just Droplets them for one, and then it's like, okay, well, then it's just free. Quite nice. But something else you can do is, like, you can go drop evenly matched, and then you can just chain the Droplets, send, and then it's just like, okay, have fun. Essentially, like, pretty nice. Being able to, like, negate that card on the field. But for the last card here is going to be the triple Power Stink Stone. This is like a Melodious staple, because you can, like, use your effects and then go into Etoile, or you can use your effects and essentially, like, both of them by using Etoile and the Shiberta, and then you just bounce the stuff, and then it's like, okay, well, now you can't play at all, so have fun. And they come back, and then it resets, and it's like you're just chilling essentially at that point. So kind of like you're going first option. I find it a little bit better than D-Barrier, but ultimately up to you guys. You know, D-Barrier you can not negate, while this you can just, an MST will ruin your life. But still, I think it evenly got a little bit more popular. We'd probably change back into the D-Barrier, but that just hurts like a lot of the matchups that does D-Barrier just does not. So it's kind of why we're playing it. But hope you guys enjoyed watching the video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe if you want to see more content like this, or anything else you want to mention in the comment section down below. Let me know in the comment section what you guys think. I'm going to be testing this out a little bit more. This is like kind of like my final build that I will be saying. I'm probably going to play this or Brand at the regionals. But you guys let me know what you guys want to be seeing at the regionals, and we'll know for to stay safe. Peace.